Good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. We are here dead early on a marvelous Monday. This is our second Monday of the brand new year. My name is Mark Daniels.
And I'm Darielle Gardner.
And we are so excited that you are here with us dead early on this marvelous Monday. We're in the second week of the brand new year, January 2023. I hope it's going fantastic for you. It's going wonderful for me. We 2 weeks in, man. I ready. Shoots. This year almost finished, eh? Done 2 weeks in. This time, it's almost Christmas again.
That's the motivation.
Well, at the very least, we got to get past the public holiday that's coming up tomorrow, Majority Rule Day.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, if you haven't quite recuperated from your Christmas, you're in luck. You have one more holiday, I think, pretty much until Easter. So you can make the most of tomorrow and, of course, celebrate Majority Rule Day, which is very important, a great, part of our history. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice chill holiday after all of the gatherings and the excitement of the Christmas. It should be one that's reflective, to reflect on the importance of Majority Rule Day, how it set the course for our country, especially as we celebrate 50 years of independence this year. So take the time tomorrow. You can watch a documentary on history of Majority Rule. You can read up on it. You can have a discussion around the table with your children, explain to them the importance of Majority Rule and what it means to us as an independent nation.
Absolutely. That's actually a fantastic idea. I think sometimes, and this is a broader conversation, but I think sometimes we have history that's given to us by people who aren't us. And it's very important to take ownership of our history and tell those Bahamian stories from a Bahamian perspective.
We tired of his story. We want our story.
There you go.
Right. And we got an exciting show and an exciting week. I wanted to ask you, I was thinking about this. Are you a breakfast person?
Yes.
Like is that your favorite meal of the day?
It's up there, very much.
What's your number one breakfast item?
I'm very I'm kind of embarrassed, but I'm very into American breakfast. I like pancakes, I like waffles, like eggs, omelets, stuff like that.
I like juices and smoothies in the morning. I like a really light breakfast, but I grew up on good old Caribbean food. So yeah, we had tuna and grits and those things, but my dad's Jamaican, so I was eating green banana and ackee and codfish. And,
that sounds actually very good for you.
Boiled dumpling and boiled yam and, mackerel and those things, but not really a big breakfast person, but a good smoothie and a nice juice in the morning, juice. And I'm good to go. So I'd like to hear from you guys. Maybe chip in beneath our Facebook Live comment. Let us know, what's your breakfast item? Just curious. What do you guys eat for breakfast this morning when you're up dead early with us on Bahamas at Sunrise?
Okay, I didn't realize we were talking about healthy food. I just have to put it in there. I thought you meant just for fun, okay?
Life.
But if I want to be healthy, I actually do quite like a smoothie. And typically on a regular day, I'll have a smoothie and peanut butter and toast.
Yeah, there you go.
Try to get some protein.
Nice and light. Get the day started. I know people who live on coffee straight until noon. It's coffee, coffee, coffee. I think some of our team members the pot upstairs is full for maybe 5 minutes. And then all of that is gone. So let us know what you have for breakfast. Get your day started. Glad you're here with us. We got a great show for you. Today we're going to be talking to the primary school winners in Central Bank's financial literacy video competition. Such a great competition, wonderful entries, and we have our winners with us today. And Dr. Nikkiah Forbes will join us to discuss the new COVID-19 variant.
The Bahamas Red Cross is also here to demonstrate CPR techniques. And of course, we'll be bringing you those financial literacy videos, of course, from our winners. The Councilors Limited invites you to the 32nd Annual Bahamas Business Outlook, Thursday, January 19th at the Bahamar Convention Center with keynote speaker, Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Philip Davis. Register now at tclevents.com to attend. Registration is $275 for in-person.
This is Weather at Sunrise.
Thank you, Darielle, and good morning, Bahamas. Mark, my favorite breakfast is favor grass tea and 2 slices of raisin bread with peanut butter every morning. And now the weather. Low-level convergence along with a weak dissipating frontal boundary over the central Bahamas will continue to promote some showers and thunderstorms over parts of the northwest and central Bahamas. We have mid-level trough to the south of the southeastern islands, and that will enhance some showers of that area. Also, we have a weak cold front that moves sometime later today, and that should move through high pressure belts behind that. Today, we're looking at variable cloudiness with a few showers, maybe some lightly thunderstorm. Your high temperature 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, partly cloudy, still a bit breezy on the mild side, And there's a chance of a few nighttime showers, low temperature going down to 66 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados, 86 and 71. In Jamaica, 85 and 72. In Trinidad, 90 and 71. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 82 and 69. Across North America, Atlanta, 50 and 39. In Boston, 44 and 31. In Miami, 79 and 67. Dallas, Texas, 62 and 44. And Toronto, Canada, 38 and 28. As we go through the week, we have the frontal boundary moving through later today, and so we're going to keep some clouds around through tomorrow, high pressure bills, and so we're looking at partly sunny remainder of the week with some breezy conditions. Low temperature daytime will be in the lower 80s, at nighttime in the upper 60s to lower 70s. That puts a wrap on your first look at weather sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to Darielle.
Thanks, Godfrey. Last week, Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin went into cardiac arrest on the field during a game. This incident raised questions about whether or not we're prepared in emergency situations such as these. So, we've asked the Bahamas Red Cross to join us today to talk about the emergency first aid and show us life-saving CPR tips. Here with us are nurse Tamara Donaldson, first aid instructor at the Bahamas Red Cross, and Norma Roberts-Cooper, first aid instructor at the Bahamas Red Cross. Good morning, ladies, and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
All right, so in Damar's case, he was given CPR. He was treated with a defibrillator very quickly. How important is that? And what is the time window that you have for something like that?
You want to act, it's very important, first of all. And it's very important that everything was already in place at the event. So most persons are now saying, which is correct, that's the best place he could have had that happen to him with everything in place. It should be done actually right away. So the chances of survival would be great if someone were to start effective CPR right away and also have a defibrillator on hand.
Okay, so those are things that at any game, at any sporting event,
Yes.
that you would recommend.
Yes, definitely.
All right, and you know, of course we have our first responders. They're the ones who responded, but as laypersons, as citizens, why is it important for us to have CPR training, first aid training?
Well, the first responders are not the first one on the scene. The lay responders are the first persons there, and so it's important for them to have the information to know what to do until the professional arrives. So it's very important for persons to take this class because it even happens in the home, and we know the delay time of the ambulance coming, and so if family members, friends take this class, the persons actually have a better chance at survival.
All right, so I'm gonna not waste any time. I'd like you to get right into it. Show us, what do we need to do to perform CPR and to understand?
Okay, I have here an adult mannequin. So if something was to happen, someone collapse, you're not sure if they collapse, if they're sleeping, if they're drunk, so the first thing you want to do is make sure the person maybe is not rising. Hello, are you okay? Hello, are you okay? For this, you only have about 10 seconds to see if the person is breathing, that's it. So by checking to see if the person is breathing, look at the rise and fall of the chest. It's very simple. Look and see if the chest is going up and down for 10 seconds. You don't need to check for any pulse or anything, just to see if they're breathing.
Okay.
If they're not, and this is an adult, what you want to do is go and initiate the emergency response system. You want to go to the phone or tell someone, please dial 911, please right away, and say what's going on. Then you go and deliver. Because you want to go and deliver, you're not to stop for any reason except about 6 reasons.
Okay.
That, only 6 reasons that, that you should be stopping for, okay? So we'll say that afterwards. So the first thing I want to do, which is very important, is to go to the chest area. I can put my hand on the chest, make sure that the arms are straight.
So it's the center of the chest?
Yes.
Okay, because I always thought it was on the heart, but.
No, go to the center of the chest, and also, and you push down using your hands like this 30 times.
And how do you assess the pace?
So you can count 1, and you can say and that would give you enough time in between the 2 compressions. 1 and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7. And you're going to 30, and after the 30, you want to do the head tilt chin lift technique.
Okay.
So you place your hand on the forehead, and you can put your fingers under the chin, raise it like this. For an adult, and knowing what's going on, you want to put on a mask. So this should be perhaps in your keychain, all right? Just as a barrier. So once you put that on there, make sure you can read it so you know it's on the right side. And you want to pinch the nose for the adult. And then put your mouth over the entire seal, and then breathe in. And while you're breathing in, 2 slow breaths. You want to make sure the chest rise and fall at the same time, okay?
So at this point, are you actually breathing for the person?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to give the person the two slow breaths. Right after that, leave this mask on and go directly back to the chest and do 30 chest compressions. You're only going about 2 inches deep into the chest, okay? If you hear a little crack, it may be the rib, and you want to ease up a little bit, okay? Okay. All right.
Sounds like a lot of pressure.
Continue this until the defibrillator arrives. So luckily, we also train in AED, training the automatic external defibrillator. And that's what the football player also received.
Okay.
And that is very effective, okay?
And how does that work?
Okay. You would actually place, it comes with pads. You would place one on the chest, to the top of the chest, and the other right underneath the breast. And the first thing you do when the defibrillator arrives is you turn it on. Because when you get really, really busy, you forget that it's not on. But once the defibrillator is on, it tells you everything to do. So you don't have to be medically trained or anything. The defibrillator will tell you, stop compressions. It's searching for rhythm. It will tell you everything. And like how you asked me how fast to go with the compressions, it has a beep to tell you how you should be giving it.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I see you have different mannequins here. Do they represent different groups of people?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they do. The adult, the child, and of course for CPR there's 8 ages. The baby is 0 to 1, and the child is 1 to 12, and everybody else is considered an adult. And of course it's different technique because the children's bodies are smaller.
Of course.
So you don't use as much weight, and if their bodies are really small, you use one hand instead of the 2 hands that you use with the adult.
Okay.
When it comes to the infant is very small, so you have to be careful. So you put your mouth over the nose and mouth, and you use your fingers to compress CPR for the infant. They all get 30 compressions, 2 breaths for a period of 5 times. At the end, then you need to check if all that pressing and blowing you were doing, you were successful. You got the heart to beat. So there's a way to check for it, but this is very important. And so I recommend that everyone take this class, because the chances of saving a life, it gives people a better chance to save their life until the professional arrives.
Very important.
Yes.
So how often do you host these classes?
Well, we do classes the entire month for private companies.
Okay.
But for the public, the 3rd Saturday in every month, the public, we do classes for the public. So they can apply online, they can call in at the Red Cross 323-7371, and they can book their classes and pay online and just show up.
And how have you found the response from the public? Is this something that a lot of people are interested in? Do you have a lot of attendance at these classes?
Now, that's a very good question, because I have a concern for that, because, you know, we're doing this thing when things happen. And so I think more people need to be sensitized, because there's a lot of things that people do not know. And when they come into the classes, they're like, oh my gosh, this is something we should have been known long time. This is something that needs to be put out there. Because people, the first thing as a first responder, when you find someone, the first thing you're supposed to do is look for a medical bracelet. People don't even know about medical bracelet, and they're like, why don't the doctors tell them?
Yeah.
So they need to be sensitized, because if somebody is a diabetic and we as responders come on the scene, we know exactly what to do. That give us a hint. So they need to be sensitized on the CPR classes, the training, how important it is. A lot of people who've taken this class has called and said, thank God they took it, because they were able to save a family member. So it is very, very important, and I think we need to, you know, just put it out there and sensitize people to it.
I was going to close by asking, have you had any success stories? Have you heard? You know, I took the
Yes.
class, I was able to perform CPR.
Many.
Yes, we've had many. And once you take it, it's an all-day class. But once you take it, your certification is good for 2 years.
And if somebody does want to sign up, how do they do that?
Okay, like I said, they can go online, bahamasredcross.org, apply, pay online, and then just show up. We'll give the information and just show up for the class.
And what is the cost of the classes?
It's $75 per person.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies. This was a very informative, I guess, demonstration this morning. Hopefully we won't have to use these skills, but in the event that we do need to use them, we will be prepared. So God bless you for the work that you do, and I hope you guys have a great Monday.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you for watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Attention customers, next Tuesday, a major hurricane will cause complete confusion and chaos throughout the entire Bahamas. Water, phone, and internet services will be in short supply. Definite data loss is expected to all local and family island businesses.
Disasters don't plan ahead, but you can. Be ready with push-to-talk service that keeps you connected with your workforce with a simple push of a button. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Island.
Wouldn't it be satisfying to own your own piece of paradise? The most important investment you can make in your life is real estate, and Fidelity has the solution for you. You could become the owner of a home or a lot on any of our beautiful islands. Come and talk to a loan officer and inquire about how you can fund your goals with a loan today. Because we know it means a lot to own a 26676 for Freeport.
Hi, I'm Ria Christina, and I'm super excited to be the new host of You and Your Money, local international banks that has actually been closing some of their branches. It actually gives me an opportunity to share my views, my take on the financial matters. Even when we think about what's happening globally, we still have a lot of work to do in terms of having to educate business owners as to the importance, the economic impact, and how it is that we can look at improving the Bahamian economy. $1 billion. That's how much we spend every year importing food in this country. It also gives me an opportunity to have conversations, and that's meaningful conversations with thought leaders within our community, even having to see how it is that we can work together or even the opportunities that may exist for many Bahamians. So I'm excited to be here and looking forward to the great conversations that's to come.
What do you want from a cloud solution? You want flexibility and edge? You want to modernize implications with the ability to deliver new ones with lightning speed. You want an infrastructure that's automated, secure, cost-effective, and scalable. You want to give the end user the freedom they want with the control you need. You can't get all that from just any cloud. You need something better. You need Bahamas Cloud. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
You are invited to the 32nd Annual Bahamas Business Outlook on Thursday, January 19th at the Bahamar Convention Center with keynote speaker Prime Minister the Right Honorable Philip Davis. A diverse slate of speakers from various industries will address the theme Forward, Upward, Onward Together in celebration of the nation's 50th year of independence. Register now at tclevents.com to attend. The in-person rate is $275, or you can join virtually for $200. Don't miss Bahamas Business Outlook, January 19th.
Welcome back. For the third straight year, the Central Bank of the Bahamas has engaged students in its Get Money Smart Bahamas Financial Literacy Video Essay Competition. This year's theme was, are foreign exchange controls still relevant for the Bahamas? Place from Exuma Christian Academy, Caci Major, semi-finalist with St. Andrew's Anglican School in Exuma, Anwar Rolle, semi-finalist with Sadie Curtis Primary School in New Providence, and Darielle Seymour, semi-finalists, Centerville Primary School in New Providence. Good morning, all, and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everybody. I hope it's not too hard for you to be up with us this early in the morning. I know you've got school, you've been working hard on your video essay competitions, and we'd like to thank you all for joining us this morning and giving us your valuable time. We know you have so much to do, so I want to get right in, and I'm going to ask each of you this first question. I guess let's start with you, Darielle. Did you understand the theme right away? Are foreign exchange controls still relevant to the Bahamas?
To be honest, I'd be lying if I said yes. When I first saw the topic, I was very confused, but I got the hang of it after I researched some videos on Google and what it meant, and watched videos on YouTube that explained different types of topics.
Well, that's good. I love the honesty, and sometimes you just have to dive right in and figure out the topic. Caci, tell us, did you understand the topic right away?
I didn't understand the topic right away. My mother had to help me, and I had to watch some videos.
Well, that's great. We are so happy your mom was there to help and assist, and that's what parents are for, to help you out when you don't understand things. Kaiden, tell us, did you understand the title right away? Or the topic?
No, sir, I did not. At first, I did not, sir. I had to ask questions about it and understand it.
Well, I see that you definitely figured it out. You all had such wonderful videos. And Anwar, how about you? Did you understand the topic right away?
At first, it was as clear as mud, but after countless hours of research and probing, I was finally able to understand the topic and make my video presentation, my video essay.
And that is awesome. And once again, you all did so very well. I didn't even understand the topic at first because I was like, wait, what are they talking about? Foreign exchange controls? What is this really all about? I learned so much from watching your videos. Anwar, tell me, what did you learn by making your video?
As I produced the video, I gained a wealth of knowledge about foreign exchange controls and how the regulations help our dollar to be on par with the US dollar. This is a blessing to us because many countries do not have this privilege.
Awesome.
Although many people,
Go ahead, keep going.
Although a lot of people may not know, foreign exchange controls help our local currency stay around much longer. These dollar bills and coins with portraits and pictures of our national heroes, symbols has so much historical value that our generations need to know about.
I agree 100%. Very well said. You definitely did your homework for that video. Caci, what did you learn while making your video?
While I was making my video, I learned that it's not easy being a TV show host.
I mean, you look like you did it so well when that newscast popped on. I felt like I was right there, live breaking news, headline news. I think you're coming to take my job one day. So I think you did very well. So give yourself some credit. Darielle, how about you? What did you learn when you made your video?
I learned what foreign exchange controls are, and I learned more about how to use How-To and how to research new concepts.
There you go. The importance of research, I agree with that 100%. You get a topic, there's something you're interested in, you need to know the channels to go down, how to find the right information, validate it, and make sure that it's accurate. So great job there. And Kaiden, what did you learn while making your video?
What I learned is how important exchange controls are for our country.
Yes, definitely important and a very critical part of our economy and our continuity as a country in doing business with foreign countries. Kaiden, how did it feel to win the competition, and what made you think of that donut concept?
It felt awesome to win the competition, to think that I won out of the entire Bahamas. That is why I feel really good. And what made me think of the donut concept is
Well, I really love donuts, so I thought it would be easier for children my age to understand, and it would be much more fun. And it's also the perfect thing for the entire concept.
I agree with you, and congratulations on that idea. Trying to find something relevant for children, but guess what? I love donuts too, so it helped me to understand the concept a whole lot more. Great idea. Caci, we spoke already about you being ready to take over my job as a TV show host. What did you enjoy the most about producing your video?
What I enjoyed the most about producing my video is that I got to switch roles between Monisha and the news reporter.
Yes, I did like that. That was a nice switch up. Very creative. I tell you, you got a future in media, so keep it up. Yeah, we need to bring you on the show. You could just come and guest host one day with Darielle and I. We'll just put a seat right here in the middle. Anwar, you compared exchange controls to guard dog in your video. Tell us how that's so.
So I have 2 family guard dogs that watch my house in the night. So it helped me to compare them with foreign exchange controls, because foreign exchange controls are no different. Because of them, we have been safeguarded and achieved a number of benefits.
Perfect. And you know, there's no better guard dog than a good old Bahamian pot cake guard dog. So our exchange controls are like good old Bahamian pot cakes, protecting our Bahamian currency and our economy. Darielle, you did a very great explainer video with cartoons. Do you think this would help your peers understand foreign exchange controls? Is that why you use the cartoon?
I definitely would, because it'd be a good idea for learning and you can gain prizes.
I love it. Everyone loves prizes. And as you said, you have to find different vehicles for people to learn. You all have had your strategy on how to come across to the persons that would have watched your video, not only us adults or those who were judging, but other children who would watch it as well. So congratulations again on all of your successes, everyone. Just going to ask each of you the final question. We'll start with you, Kaiden. Would you recommend the competition to others?
Yes, sir, I definitely would. I already told it to my friends and to other people.
And how about you, Darielle? Would you recommend this competition to your friends?
I would recommend it because my brother was in it 2 years before me.
Nice.
And the advice that I would give to my friends is to try and come up with good ideas.
Yeah, come up with good ideas. Yeah, think through it. And of course, use your parents' help, because your parents are your guardians. Help your teachers, because as long as it's within the rules, but that's what they're there for, to help. And you, Anwar, would you recommend this competition to your friends?
I would recommend the competition to other people because in addition to the enormous cash prize, I believe that this competition is a creative way to grasp the attention of our young people. At the same time, to spread awareness and enhance financial literacy.
I agree with you 100%, my brother. Very well said. And congratulating you all again. Before we go, is there anybody you would like to thank that helped you with this video? We'll start with you, Kaiden.
Sure. I would like to thank my parents and my sisters, and I would also like to thank my Uncle Carson for helping me with the video.
Perfect. How about you, Anwar? Anybody you would like to thank?
I'd like to thank my mom and my sister.
Lovely, lovely. Caci, how about you?
I would like to thank my mother and my sister's godfather. They really helped me through the way, and they explained it to me really well.
Perfect. And you, Darielle, anyone you would like to thank?
I'd like to thank my mom and Google.
Yes. We all must thank Google at some point. And I want to thank you all for giving us your time this morning. I know you have such a busy schedule. There's school. You guys are celebrities now. Your videos are all over the world. So thank you so much for giving us a slice of your morning. Congratulations again on all of your successes. We have here with us the winners of the video essay competition for the Central Bank of the Bahamas Financial Literacy Competition. Thanks again, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your morning and continue to be great. I look forward to wonderful things from all of you in the future. Perfect. Have a great morning, everyone. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise, and we'll be right back.
The Euro device is very affordable. It allows you to increase your internet connectivity. You are able to do away with the buffering, say goodbye to the dead spots. It gives them a much more stable connection. Their customers are able to view their digital menus. The establishment is able to stream. It allows for everyone, the customers and the business operators, to have a much more robust and stable internet connectivity.
One thing, two things, blue thing, all things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
The Salvation Army Bahamas helps thousands of individuals and families in need. This is why your donations at Red Kettles are so important. If you don't carry cash, donate Sand Dollars, the digital version of the Bahamian dollar. Use any Sand Dollar-enabled digital wallet to scan the QR code at Salvation Army Kettles or to donate Sand Dollars remotely. For a list of providers and to learn more about the digital Bahamian dollar, visit sanddollar.bs.
And welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're here dead early on a marvelous Monday, the second Monday of the new year. Boy, this new year going by fast. We're already in the second week. We probably got like about 16 more weeks left in January, and then we'll move on to February, and then the year will continue, right?
Yeah. I feel like you're trying to breeze through this year. Let's ease
Take our
into
time.
it. Yeah.
We're talking again.
It's early. It's early in the year. Let's enjoy it. Let's
take our time.
Let's savor it.
Let's slow down. You know, we enjoyed the first half of the show. I always enjoy speaking to young people, especially when Central Bank does the video essay competitions for the Financial Literacy Series. And it always amazes me the amount of information that the students are able to find out and the way they portray it, because I always learn a lot. And congratulations again to everyone who participated, not only those who we had on the show this morning. And they smart. They smarter than me when I was that age, so y'all can go far.
Yeah, it's always fascinating just to see the brilliance that young people have and the creativity that they can bring to it, to these concepts. I brought with me a little souvenir from my interview just recently with the ladies from the Red Cross who did that CPR demonstration. They told me to make sure and tell everyone that when you do the class, you actually get this little kit that comes with gloves as well as a mask for you to do CPR, because they know people are very particular about, I guess, you know, who they put their mouths on, who they are in such close contact with, so you don't have to expose yourself to germs. Just a PSA that you can provide CPR and protect yourself all at the same time.
That's handy because you know we like things. And for those of you all a little extra sensitive, you can put a couple other things. You can put a little Listerine in there.
Right.
You know, maybe a rose or some chocolate or something.
I don't think you'll have time for Listerine, you know. I think the priorities shift then.
Oh, right.
But, you know, definitely.
Yeah, definitely a handy skill to have basic life-saving techniques. You never know when it's going to come into use. And I encourage everyone to learn it. It's a very basic skill, and it can literally save you or someone else's life.
Absolutely.
So we got an exciting second half coming up. We're going to be looking at some of those videos from the Central Bank Financial Literacy Video Essay Competition from our primary school winners that we just interviewed a few moments ago.
And Dr. Nikkiah Forbes is here to talk about the most recent COVID-19 variant, which I'm sure no one is excited about.
I know.
But in the meantime, before we get into that, we're going to have a second look at weather with Godfrey Burnside.
This is Weather at Sunrise.
Thank you, Darielle. Good morning, Bahamas. And your second look at weather, sunrise, low-level convergence, along with a weak dissipating frontal boundary across the Exumas, will produce some showers, likely thunderstorm, particularly parts of northwest and central Bahamas. You have a middle-level trough to the south of the southeastern islands, and that could trigger up a couple of showers in the area, may go on in Nago today. And we have a weak cool front pass through sometime late the evening into nighttime hours. That'll also produce some showers, but that'll move out through tomorrow, and by the end of the week, high pressure builds across the islands. In your marine forecast today, those winds variable at 10 knots or less, seas 1 to 3 feet on northwest Bahamas, east to southeast at 20 knots, seas 47 feet over the central and southeastern islands. On Tuesday, the winds continue variable at 10 knots or less, seas 1 to 3 feet on northwest and central Bahamas, easterly at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over the southeastern islands. On Wednesday, those winds northwest to north at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet over northwest Bahamas, and continue over the southeastern islands also. Your tides. You can expect a high tide at 9:14 this morning. Next low tide will be at 3:42 this afternoon. High again tonight at 9:31. Sunset 5:37 this evening. Rises more at 6:56. UV index 7. Your water temperature 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Honeymoon phase, full moon. Extend a look after that front passes through sometime today. High pressure builds across the islands. Going to have some clouds today, some clouds in tomorrow with some showers, possible thunderstorms. By Wednesday, we expect some improvement across the islands with some partly sunny skies and some slight breezy conditions across the islands. Slight chance of 1 to 2 little showers. Temperature daytime will be in the lower 80s, at nighttime upper 60s to lower 70s. That puts you up in your final look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Darielle.
Thanks, Godfrey. Earlier in the show, Mark spoke with those outstanding primary school students from the Central Bank's Financial Literacy Video Competition. Right now, we're going to feature 2 of their videos. The first video is from Kaiden Burrows, the first place finisher from Exuma Christian Academy. The second video is from Caci Major, semifinalist from St. Andrew's Anglican School, Exuma. Enjoy.
Hello, my name is Kaiden Roosevelt Burrows, and I am a proud 4th grade student from Exuma Christian Academy. I love donuts. If you look at a donut, it is round, and some have a gaping hole, while others, my favorite, have filling inside. Exchange controls operate a lot like the structure of a donut, providing a boundary so that we can enjoy the fillings inside. Exchange controls are a set of rules, regulations, and procedures which govern all foreign currency transactions between residents of the Bahamas and residents of foreign countries. They are government-imposed limitations on the purchase and or sale of currencies. This is a form of capital control, which is an action taken by the government, central bank, or regulatory body to limit the flow of foreign currencies in and out of domestic economies. In the Bahamas, the central bank is responsible for overseeing foreign control regulations. I have researched and fully understand that foreign exchange controls are still relevant because it helps to ensure the balance of payments, which means that Bahamian money leaving the country is balanced with the foreign currency coming in. Take a look at this donut. In simple terms, the inside of this donut represents the central bank's foreign reserves. These reserves allow us to trade easily internationally and pay our debts. Let's say this amount is to $10,000. The central bank therefore printed and circulates $10,000, which represents the value of the foreign reserves. Now, the central bank is supposed to ensure that the external or foreign reserves are maintained at 50% of the value of notes in circulation. If a tourist or investor spends $5,000 in the Bahamas to maintain the integrity of this donut or our reserves, $5,000 can be spent outside of the country without compromising our reserves. If for some reason government controls were not in place, Bahamians would have the option to spend as much as they want without regard for this balance. So let's look at another scenario without the control measures where our reserves are still $10,000 and again $5,000 is coming into the country. But Bahamians spend $10,000 out of the country. This means that we would have to destroy $5,000 to represent what the country has lost. To avoid all of this, financial exchange controls ensure that we do not release more than foreign currency that is coming back in. Currency devaluation is when currency falls in value compared to other currencies. This can happen where foreign exchange controls are relaxed. Jamaica and Guyana operate on a floating exchange rate. These countries' central banks do not guarantee the rate of which they will be exchanged and do not seek to recover their currency. These countries continue to print more money than equivalent to their reserves. Hence, today the Jamaican dollar is valued at $154 to one Bahamian dollar. This has caused lack of faith in trade and investment in this country and economic hardship that contributes to many local moving places like the Bahamas for work and more stability. In conclusion, it is clear that we need to stay within the boundaries of our donut and enjoy the circulation of money in a controlled way. We are fortunate to taste the filling of donut that has kept us economically stable for more than 40 years. Foreign exchange controls are still very much needed in the Bahamas.
Good evening. I am your host, Caci Teve, reporting live from KCTV News. Let's take a look at today's headline. Are foreign exchange controls still relevant for the Bahamas? As it stands now, the Bahamas maintains a fixed exchange rate policy, which simply means our Bahamian dollar is pegged to the US dollar. Therefore, $1 always equals $1 US. As many may know, in any country, a central bank is a vital component in the financial sector and it operates independently. It is a public institution that manages its country's currency and controls how much of that dough is in circulation. Unfortunately, there are a few countries without a central bank, like Andorra, which uses euro currency, Marshall Islands, which uses the US currency, and Tuvalu, whose Tuvalu in dollar is pegged with the Australian dollar. Our reporter Monisha is live on the scene at the Central Bank of the Bahamas. Thank you, Caci. Just months ago, Mr. John Rolle, governor of the Central Bank of the Bahamas, reported that having exchange controls rate in place manages the stability of our Bahamian currency. Different countries have different currencies, and foreign exchange converts the currency of one country into another. For example, if you travel to Canada, the rate exchange from one Bahamian dollar to Canadian dollar is $1.27, which means you would pay 27 cents on the dollar. In Jamaica, one Bahamian dollar is 153 Jamaican dollars, which is severely inflated. So although the cost of living is generally more affordable than the US, a single $5,000 note can only buy a meal for 2 people for that day. It is good to know that living or visiting the Bahamas, the US currency can also be used, the power of being equal. However, to maintain the exchange rate, the government will buy and sell its own currency against the currency to which it is pegged. Hence, if we go to the bank to acquire US dollars, it would be 1 BSD to 99 cents USD. Back to you, Caci. Thank you, Monisha. It is important to know that our Bahamian economy is supported mostly by tourism and fishing industries, and through trade they are able to support the stability of our Bahamian dollar. Exchange control affects all currency transactions between Bahamian residents and foreigners from other countries. These rules are there to restrict the movement or flow of foreign currency to and from the Bahamas. As a country, we must have checks and balances in place, know how much money is circulating, and how much currency is being converted. When tourists and locals alike spend our currency, we can monitor it and determine the amount that is imported and exported. So the foreign exchange controls set in place through the central bank is to help the country's economic health and the well-being of all the people residing here. The last thing we would want is for our reserves to run out. If that happens, our currency will be devalued and we would no longer be on par with the US. Breaking news. A young lady was caught trying to use 50 Jamaican dollars at Smitty's. The Jamaican national, who was a resident, was quickly turned down and referred to Royal Bank of Canada to exchange her currency. Thanks for tuning in to Caci TV News. Have a good evening.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a sand dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers.
It does not matter
which of us you choose.
You can pay for goods and services
wherever sand dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. We are back and we're here. We're talking about COVID-19. XBB 1.5 is the new COVID-19 variant, and it has been reported globally. The Ministry of Health said so far there are no cases in the Bahamas, but we wanted to understand what the strain is all about, so we brought in our local expert, Dr. Nikkiah Forbes, infectious disease consultant with Princess Margaret Hospital. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
And Happy New Year.
Yes, it's a pleasure having you here. We're all familiar with Dr. Forbes. She was our celebrity during the lockdowns, coming in and giving us assurance on what's happening with COVID-19. So here we are again. Glad to have you in studio. So what can you tell us about XBB 1.5?
Well, thank you. So this is an Omicron variant. So what there is to know is that COVID-19 is here to stay. And if it is spreading anywhere, it is going to change or mutate. And so Omicron, we've heard a lot about that. Well, this is a variant of Omicron. And to date, what's understood is that this is the most transmissible form of the Omicron variants to date. It is spreading in a number of countries. And it can cause a surge in cases. And what's being studied is that there are some locations that are starting to see an increase in hospitalizations. And so it's important to remember that this is what's expected. Viruses will mutate, and we have to approach them scientifically, and it has to be studied, and we have to know the facts about it. It's very important to note that we should not sensationalize them or treat them alarmist until we have all the facts. And so Omicron, what we know, it doesn't cause as much severe disease. It's not in the lower, what we call the lower airways as much. And so that in itself makes it less likely to be deadly. And then we've come a long way from since our initial encounter with COVID-19. The virus has changed, and also we have had a lot of advancements in terms of vaccines and therapeutics and even natural immunity through getting infections. And so our immunity is better. severe. And so we're more likely to cope with COVID-19 and these newer strains better. And that appears to be what's bearing out with this new Omicron XBB 1.5 strain.
Well, that's positive news. You mentioned viruses mutate. Is it within their nature to evolve, or is this something specific to COVID and Omicron?
Well, it's within viruses' nature to mutate. Many viruses do that. The flu virus does it. HIV does that, for example. And so that is what we're seeing with COVID-19. And the trends for COVID as a respiratory infection is that as these viruses mutate, they appear to be less severe.
The WHO has said that this new variant XBB 1.5 has a growth advantage over other sub-variants seen so far. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, so what they're saying is that they're seeing more of this strain as the circulating strain of COVID-19. And so in terms of surveillance of COVID-19, countries will look at the strains and they will see what is the predominant strain that's circulating. And so the previous strains of Omicron were the predominant variant for quite some time. However, this new variant, XBB 1.5, it went from just initially being detected to having high prevalence in a relatively short period of time. And there are some countries where, and some states, for example, in the US, where the percentage prevalence of Omicron that's circulating is anywhere from 40.5% of cases to upward to 70% of cases. So when you say it has a growth advantage, that means that it is quickly becoming a strain that is in the majority. And so when we first see that, we have to say, wait a minute, is this more transmissible than other strains? But that requires scientific proof. So it has to be studied, and so it takes a bit of time to determine that. So when you first notice that in your disease surveillance, you say, oh, it has a growth advantage. But now we do have that information that's come out recently that it is more transmissible. That spike protein that allows it to attach to cells does that more efficiently than other variants. So, so it is more transmissible.
Wow, this virus is getting smarter and smarter. So the lifting the mask mandate, in your opinion, what impact did that have on community health? And do you think we'll be seeing impacts from holiday gatherings?
Okay, good question. So the first part, I'm going to tackle it in two parts. So masks. What do masks do? Masks, especially medical grade masks, if worn properly by, say, two persons, how you and I are here together, that effectively prevents the spread of COVID-19. When do you need to do that? Do you need to do that universally at all times? Not necessarily. So if cases are low, if variants are becoming milder, and if people have more immunity and vaccinations are being, the uptake is good. So most persons have had a vaccine coverage or immunity. You can now drop your mask mandate because the chance of spread is significantly low in both outdoor settings and indoor settings. You know, outdoor is less likely to happen. And so you can. But you know, you hear this information that there are some places that are going to reinstate their mask mandate, if you may have heard that in some locations, that may be an additional public health mechanism that's helpful if cases are high. And if hospitalizations in particular are high and deaths are high, because 3 years in, we are in a different state. And so we're looking at things like hospitalizations and deaths and our ability to manage, because things need to be able to stay open so that there's minimal collateral damage per se. So that will cover the mask mandate part of the question. What was the second part of the question?
The holiday gatherings.
Holiday gatherings, right.
When can we expect to see that?
Yes, so this is what we can expect. COVID-19 is always going to be here as some form of circulating respiratory virus. Consider it like the flu will always be around. That started from an outbreak years ago, by the way. And so it's here to stay. And so we can expect that there are going to be periods where cases might go up, and then there are going to be times when cases go down. And there are things that contribute to that, including our behavior. And so there can be an uptick of cases after gatherings. For example, that was in the United States after Thanksgiving. And then if you looked at our own hospitalizations that are reported, it went from, say, roughly in the single digits, say 7 to about 14, and double digits, low double digits, 18. And that would have happened after about 2 weeks after the Thanksgiving holiday, and it remains to be seen what will happen after our our Christmas gatherings.
Yeah, because, you know, we couldn't resist being out and Junkanoo and all the gatherings. We felt like we've missed out for the past couple of years. So hopefully we don't suffer too much for our splurging over the Christmas time. With the new variant, with everything we've learned so far, what safety protocols should we be observing now as a general public?
Well, you should be aware of the facts. And so go to reputable sources to find out more about these new variants. This is going to happen again. There are going to be other variants. And so it's important to know the facts about it. And we have to monitor the situation. And we're now 3 years into COVID-19. People have to protect themselves, and we know what works to protect against COVID. So those public health measures, stay home if you're sick, minimize contacts, hand washing, especially if you have a weak immune system, and please do take every opportunity to optimize your immune status, because vaccines are still helpful to prevent hospitalizations and deaths. And so I recommend everyone to get a COVID-19 vaccine. That's 2 series of the Pfizer, and then a booster for everyone 5 to 6 months after that second dose. And if you have a weak immune system or you're over the age of 50, you should have a second COVID booster. And if you can get the Omicron specific boosters, that's also going to help to keep you safe from COVID-19.
That was going to be my wrap-up question, your recommendations on booster shots and the COVID vaccine. And should we also be getting the flu vaccine during this period of time, or should we choose one versus the other? What's your recommendation?
Absolutely get the flu vaccine. Other vaccines are very important. They help to prevent diseases. And you should get both your COVID vaccine and any other vaccines. And the flu shot is available for parents with young children. I know you shared something. Yeah, you shared something with me. Absolutely do make sure that your children get their childhood vaccines too. That's going to keep them safe and healthy.
Perfect. Well, Dr. Nikkiah Forbes, it's always a pleasure speaking with you and for you giving us an update on what's happening with this new COVID variant, XBB 1.5. It sounds like a video game or like a shoe size for like an astronaut or something. But thank you again for your insight. It's always very comforting when you come on. Everything feels a little less panicky and like we got it under control. So thank you again for giving us your time this morning, being up with us dead early on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you for having me.
Great. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise, and we'll be right back.
The islands of the Bahamas. Fly away.
You are invited to the 32nd Annual Bahamas Business Outlook on Thursday, January 19th at the Bahamas Convention Center with keynote speaker Prime Minister the Right Honorable Philip Davis. A diverse slate of speakers from various industries will address the theme Forward, Upward, Onward Together in celebration of the nation's 50th year of independence. Register now at tclevents.com to attend. The in-person rate is $275, or you can join virtually for $200. Don't miss Bahamas Business Outlook, January 19th.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We've had an incredible show.
Our country didn't know how to deal with the economy, that this COVID-19 variant around, but we know how to deal with it. And I know that if I drop down in front of you, you could bring me back to life.
Yeah, I really feel like we covered all of the bases today. We talked about preventing emergencies, being financially literate at the most basic level, using your creativity, and of course, survival skills or skills to help your loved ones.
What a great
survive
way to kick
an
off the
emergency.
week, right?
Yeah, a great way to kick off the week. Very informative show.
Well, the holiday is tomorrow, so make sure that you all find a way to celebrate the day, take a break, but make sure you really dig into the meaning of Majority Rule Day. What does it mean for us as a country, and what you want to see your future Bahamas look like for the future generations. Them children in the video essays, what do we want their Bahamas to look like? And that is what tomorrow is for. Focus on that and enjoy your holiday, and we'll see you on Friday.